Yaoi tries to find you, you can kind of protect yourself.
Yeah,
so that allows for the rest of your team to play around that fact.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what TNC's playing with here.
Yeah, so other than the fact that the Kagura can be used as a bait tool, it can even be other than being counter-punished, it can also be a bait tool. Where in Escalera would be like, hey, look at me, I'm a good target. Oh, I'm going to cleanse this. Here comes the rest of TNC. So
That's right.
Yeah.
Again, it comes down to, do they punish Yaoi's early aggression? Because you already know he's going to be doing it, right? That's exactly how Yaoi likes to play whenever he gets this throw. So if TNC, again, can punish the aggression early or possibly even get a kill early on, that'll be big for them. And with Ben Things on the Kufa this time, he can actually be a lot more proactive in the way that he plays early on rather than just like, let me get a hook and then follow up on that, right? So this, again, comes down to Romer setting the pace for both of these teams, and then however the rest capitalize on it. But again, going back to how we saw Kagura's performance in the, I think it was last week, it was really difficult to see kind of the value of her unless the certain things fall into place, right?
Yeah.
So that is a huge kind of obstacle that Escalera needs to be able to overcome here in this matchup.
If a team going up against a Kagura cannot get to the Kagura, they're going to be eating a face full of umbrella. That's the main thing. But the thing we've seen all throughout the season is, more often than not, Kaguras will struggle. Escalera, though, I think he's going to be spending a lot of time just checking shrubs and just waiting for the right entries and moments to use his combo. Ben Thinks, speaking of, misses that flicker Tyrant's Revenge. So that's going to be quite a while until we get that combo available for TNC.
It'll be up by what? Short of next turtle.
Yeah, and that's a good sign for Echo because now they can go into this first turtle of the game a little bit braver. But it seems like both teams just want to take this a little bit easy, though. Yaoi not yet level 3, so no way of the dragon for King Kong to worry about. So Hesu's going to be helping out here. Sanford already going in with the bravest fighter. Hesu's brought to really low. King Kong is going to be contesting this. He misses the start there, but King Kong still somehow and Kraltizi gets punished. In the clutches of Hesu, Ben Thinks misses the Tyrant's Revenge. And Sanford gets away, so TNC walk away with a kill and a turtle.
All right, in case we haven't really honed it in, folks, it's miserable to be a jungle Alice for the first 4 or 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like you can do too much, you know? And that was one of my questions when that was locked in for Kraltizi is like, I'm pretty sure this is the first time that he's played Alice so far in the season. I know Alice has been picked up previously by other teams, but Kraltizi specifically. Okay, Yaoi
blocks the combo there. He flickered JKD'd into the bouncing ball, so he couldn't get the angle, actually, to kick Ben Things back to the rest of Echo. Now the middle lane. Yaoi, the rest of TNC just looming around. No sequence yet.
Not just that, it was no follow-up at all, so I'm wondering why Yaoi did that.
I think he just didn't get the angle that he was looking for against Ben Things. But, you know, again, it didn't result into too many bad things. He's still going to be searching for it.
Yeah, and they found Ben Things. He's going to be immobilized. He eats a feathered airstrikes and a full combo coming in from the Mexico Echo, and that's going to be the kickback. And they get the kill there, but Kraltizi falls as well, so it's going to be Romer for jungler. TNC walk out of that favorably.
Here's a scary thing that I'm, you're getting a glimpse, a preview of this. As the game progresses here, you're going to see the interaction, the relationship between Sanji, Kraltizi, Benny Cutie. The fact that one of them will probably have a Genius Wand at some point, then you have a bunch of this burst magic damage followed up by Benny Cutie's Blazing Duet. The AoE threat damage from Echo is what TNC really has to be conscious of. As long as they're not bunched up and dealing with that, getting, kind of misplaced and everything, they're going to be in a good position. The lineup that they have, though, is good for that, as long as they don't get caught. And that's what's happening here.
Speaking of, Yaoi catches out Innocent under tower. Combo onto the Matrix. Ben Things escapes with around 40% of his health. But a full blast onto the Matrix and TNC. Innocent goes down. Echo are going to be continuing this. Escalera and Ben Things can only stand us and watch as Echo try to maximize the gold here for Benny Cutie. And across the map, Kraltizi gets the turtle for Echo.
That's curious. We didn't have a camera up top there, but King Kong was also on the scene. I wonder how Kraltizi stole that.
It's going to be a 1 second retribution, a bit too late. Well, half a second retribution late for King Kong. Kraltizi got it off first.
Yeah, he was off by a little bit. And again, even with all that action in the bottom lane, you can already see how things are kind of falling into place. The fact, too, Benny Cutie's already got that DHS, but two,
Escalera gonna get caught out again. Yaoi, can he get the angle onto the kick for Escalera? Escalera still surviving. Echo ramping up. So what we were talking about earlier in terms of the slower speed of one Alice, seems like it's starting to ramp up. BenFink's trying to bounce away. Can he block it? Yowie gets tired straight into the wall, but there's going to be no follow-up.
no.
Kick back by Yowie. BenFink's in the dangerous position, but here comes King Kong. BenFink escapes. Benny Cutie chasing after him, blazing. Duet takes him out. The counter by Escalera takes out Benny Cutie. He gets Yin Yang overturned, and they're going to be a roamer for gold laner trade.
That's a good trade. I'll take that any day. Now, Joseph, you were saying that Echo is slowly showing us a preview of what their winning image might be, right?
Yeah.
This is a great adjustment from last game. Game 1, they were lacking damage in their draft, right?
Yeah.
They were very honest about how they wanted to engage. This time around, even if CallTZ is struggling, the fact that they can just hit one with the Way of the Dragon and eliminate him just leads them up into trading into the late game, which eventually will be inevitable. That's what CallTZ is hedging on.
Yeah, we feel Echo now compared to game number 1.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You can see it, right? And even the lead that TNC had, it's kind of been diminished here. So even with that said, Innocent had a similar start previous game.
Terseru goes forward, and let's see what he can do here. He committed the flicker for this play.
Wow.
He's going to get punished. Escalera with a Yin Yang overturn will not be able to complete the combo.
Okay. See,
flickering.
that's my point. It's a little rough to see that, right? Escalera flickered in. He was trying to get the combination off, couldn't get it. And then after that, it's kind of like, all right, I used everything. Let's get out of here.
Turtle contest, CallTZ and Sanford versus King Kong. Sanji is here. Let's go. What? King Kong still somehow walks away with a turtle. So that's going to be 2 out of the 3 turtles in this game going to TNC.
2 words for you. I-frames.
I-frames, man. It's the I-frames.
And hey, I said this. King Kong can hold his own against the best in the world, and he's doing it, right? We saw this. We saw the potential earlier in the season.
BenFink bounces in front of Yowie's face. Yowie won't find the angle for the kick. Benny Cutie sending BenFink's back.
Okay. Now, okay. We take a breather here for a second, because this game, is very different from the previous one, where you have a lot of back and forth, right? BenFink's not able to find some of the setups he's looking for, but still, even though I was talking about Benny Cutie, CallTZ, Sanji's kind of a relationship with the overlapping of ultimates is going to work for them, but BenFink can similarly do the same thing, right? The same concept is there.
Oh, they don't get CallTZ in the mid lane. They're going to be tired straight into the wall, but CallTZ surviving through it. That's CallTZ taken out. Eating the brunt of the damage coming in from the members of TNC. Sanford finds Escalera. Escalera does not get away. So that's going to be 1-for-1 trade so far. Escalera, CallTZ the only one's down. Hesu drags back Sanford. Sanford falls. TNC still in the lead after the massive trades here in the mid going to the bottom.
That Hesu Innocent connection is so nice to see when it happens. They do it so well with the Glue and the Beatrix lineup, and it's a beauty to see. So again, TNC still, even though they lost a little bit of the lead earlier on, they've built it back up here, and they're doing a great job at playing around that. Yowie's just going to go ahead and kick Hesu in the direction because he doesn't want to deal with that Glue split. But still, TNC, let's see how they play around this.
Hesu mobilized. Yowie able to Shunpo away from danger of the Tyrant's Revenge. TNC are not going to be fully committed just yet. Lord spawns.
Oh, this is where things are going to be crucial, right? Given the fact that there's quite a bit of space to work with for both teams. I mean, even-wise, right? There's only one turret for each side down cross-map. So they're going to be fighting for pretty much position advantage here for this first Lord. And this is where I expect to see Echo's lineup shine if they can really find the position advantage, the lockdown around this Lord pit. And that's why there's so much even focus here mid lane, trying to push what they can. But with those tier 1 turrets still standing up, it's very difficult to actually give it a go. And we'll see them just kind of poke back and forth for now.
All the more, the mid lane turrets are important because neither team can actually make a quick go at the Lord without those falling.
Yeah.
It's not as safe. So I understand how much TNC wants to invest in owning these bushes. Getting us a there's a
Thanks with the Tyrant's Revenge range combo up to a member there. Who does he take down? It's CallTZ. No juggler for Echo. No juggler for Echo. And Hesu pulls back Yowie into the snipe of Innocent. proven guilty yet again, but let's see if TNC can actually secure the Lord. If they do, King Kong gets it. The knockdown with the Sanford. Bandicuti with a blazing duet to try and survive and take down Hesu. Hesu holding on for dear life. Hesu gets away. TNC walk away without a death and with the Lord.
Every single member of TNC was on point. They understood the homework.
Yeah.
And I could have sworn Hesu should have gone back. He could have died, but he understood the limits of his hero and he stayed to let the rest of TNC retreat, get away scot-free.
And that is twice now.
Twice.
The Hesu innocent connection.
Yeah, the one you said, the Inasu.
Inasu.
Inasu. Naisu says Naisu for Inasu.
Oh, man. I love to see it. And looking at the items here, too, Echo is, again, in a situation where they're 4K behind. Itemization obviously in favor here for TNC. Things being completed. Even with Escalera having that Genius Wand, the Clock of Destiny, plus the Arcane Boots, the burst is already there when he lands it. Again, he's doing a great job at actually finding those moments to capitalize on. But still, Yaoi only has an Athena's shield. He doesn't have much defense here.
And this is what I don't understand, right? Towards the mid-game, it seemed like Echo had a grasp of things.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, TNC says, you know what? Wait till Hesu and Innocent come online. Wait till they show you how this connection works. And they're owning the map because of that.
It's the glue, man. No answer for the glue right now. Hesu back-to-back games from this hero. Absolute menace for Echo to handle. 5,000 gold lead. What can the M4 World Champs do? The Yaoi finds someone he's going to get a kick, but it's Hesu he finds. If it's going to be Echo bound in danger, Sanford probably really low. But the airstrike committed. Sanford getting a lot of damage, and he's going to be able to take down Hesu. Blazing the web of Bandicuti, but it's not going to be enough. Look at Innocent tearing through Echo. It's a 1-for-1 trade, though. Carl Deasy's still alive, but he's in between 3 members of TNC. Blood flow out. Carl Deasy gets found by the umbrella of Escalera.
Chessman!
Chessman. This is the synergy I was looking for, the communication for TNC for weeks. We saw a glimpse of it last week, and now you're seeing that refined version of it. You saw even how they played around Carl Teasy from not allowing him to get away there on the Alice. It was such a good call there. And that, you know, King Kong, Innocent being on the top of the player gold, not surprised with that. Innocent still having one of those games like he had the previous one, and he's online. He's also now recently picked up that Wind of Nature. He's got that extra kind of defense button to play around with, but so far, he hasn't needed to really be defensive.
And gentlemen, that's exactly what makes this whole 12-minute bout from TNC so impressive, is the fact that it's not just Echo laying down and taking it. The fact that TNC are able to flow with Echo's game plan, the way they've evolved from game 1, changed the lineup, and how TNC are answering that. Yes, Echo got a little more experimental here, but the fact that TNC can keep up with it is what's really keeping me glued to my screen. I can't let go. I can't not look.
TNC is making the world watch. This is what they're doing. The M4 World Champs last week. They took Brand Esports, top of our league right now, to 3 games. The Lord really low. Can TNC secure this for themselves? They do. King Kong without a problem. Biyahing Tagumpay gets the Lord, and they just might be able to break the world's expectations and ride this into a 2-0 sweep victory.
The Lord is on board, and it is luminous. So that means TNC is hedging on this Lord crashing into one of these inhibitors.
Yeah, it's in a situation with that, you're wondering, you know, should Echo have contested that? Well, with their lineup and the fact that they're so far behind at this point, 13 minutes in the game, they've actually got a pretty good high ground defense. Like, they can sit in their base, buy a couple more minutes, defend the best they can, and get the items that they need. Because even looking at these items now, every single member still needs time, especially Yaoi. If he's going to be the one that front line looking for the pickoffs, he needs a couple more there. That at least he picks up the anti-Karas here.
Yeah.
So one more.
One more. Give him one more.
Here comes the Lord in mid. Ben thinks charging it up. Ben thinks finds the target. It's Bandicuti, but Bandicuti is going to be able to use the BMI out. Ben thinks he's going to get counter punished here. The feather coming in, and he gets kicked back by Yaoi. They take down Ben Thinks, but no, he survives. Ben Thinks was able to drag that on a little bit longer. Yaoi brought really low. TNC haven't lost anyone. Here comes Sanford, and Bandicuti gets a double kill. Blazing duet to the face. Echo get the clap back against TNC.
All right, before this whole Hesu Innocent connection, there was Sanford and Benny Curie in Jakarta.
Yes, and it worked out for them there. Again, I think that's the call, right? Let's defend in our base. Let's make something happen. They did it, but what I'm wondering, and you're going to look at it later, is Innocent was cut off. He was in a bad area. I think he probably thought, you know, let's call it off. We got the mid inhibitor turret. Top is almost down. But if he was in that area, he would have been able to really provide a lot of covering, either fire or possibly get a couple kills from Echo. So now, Echo's bought themselves the time they needed, a little bit more, a couple minutes. They've moved around the map a little bit, but they still need to be able to get the map advantage. They need the space to work with here. And so that is something that TNC has to be careful of, not to get picked off as Echo starts to venture off together.
And Joseph, it's that thin line, that tightrope that both of these teams are walking on. It's a shared feat that they're going through. One, TNC, yeah, they're happy to get that inhibitor in mid, maybe even threaten the penetration up top. But also, for Echo, every minute that goes by, especially if they're still here by 20, 21, 22, then all the more then this might actually go to game 3 because that's what this lineup is all about.
It's about the late game, and Echo know their condition very well. That's why TNC's been ramping it up. That's why they've been wanting to set the tempo. Everything they've done is to give them a big enough lead as much as possible because they know it will be inevitable that Echo can fight back. TNC is getting closer to that point. Have they built themselves a comfortable enough lead to keep themselves close to winning a sweep?
Something tells me Echo is still feeling it, that they're not out just yet. Look, the fact that they're staying here outside of their jungle and even thinking about contesting this Luminous Lord means they know that their power spike is somewhere near. It's close.
Yeah, it's close. And even given this, you know, most people are going to look at the gold lead for TNC here. But even with that, again, the way the lineup works for Echo complements each other so well, and that's why you see TNC taking their time with this Lord here, trying to force a situation that's not going to favor Echo. Yawi especially is going to be looking for a pickoff if he can find one.
Okay, Carl TZ. Blood Oath already committed there. That's going to be bad things. Double knockup because the Lord knocked up Carl TZ as well. He takes a bunch of damage, but look at Carl TZ just healing through it. The juggler of Echo grasping for dear life. Feathered airstrike by Sanji. The members of TNC are scrambled a bit, but look at Escalera in the mid lane pushing down. Let's see if they can do what's left. Carl TZ still alive. He blood flows on out of there. And just when we thought Echo were down, Benny Cutie with a blazing duet. Escalera falls, but that's going to be a kill by Innocent onto Carl TZ. What else can TNC do here? A threat of a split push by Innocent. Sanford with the Raven Spider takes down Ben Thinks. Escalera and Ben are down. Innocent force back. That's going to be an entry by King Kong. Finds Sanji. Hetsu brought really low, but they're still going to be chasing after the members of Echo to try and delay. Back. Sanford.
40!
What a pull by Hetsu.
40!
What a pull!
And just like that, TNC can only really do so much. They can make the call here, and it seems like we're going straight for the Lord. Not enough to push up top, not enough to finish through mid. I call that a win for TNC, despite how messy that team fight was.
I was going to say, it was messy as hell. But there was some moments of greatness for both teams in how they approached that fight. But TNC ultimately came out on top. And even Innocent used his Wind of Nature. I think he got juked out, used it early, and then he had to run away. And then he was like, okay, hold on. But then they got the call. King Kong was like, no, we got this. And they turned it around again. So now they've got the Lord here. They're going to be able to work around that. And let's see, Echo, if they can defend this. They're most likely going to lose their inhibitors, right? But still, the fact of the way this lineup works, they're going to be doing their best to defend here with the combination they have, but it's so tough to deal with TNC. The way that they're playing right now, they're playing out of their minds.
Involved Lord marching down mid. I think TNC smells blood in the water.
Look at the minion waves. TNC, do they have enough? Because Echo is rushing the Lord here in mid. The side inhibitor still up for Echo. Echo take down the Lord. TNC, I set on winning the game now. Building a lead, Ben Thinks charging it up, but he backs off. I don't think TNC's going to pull it off just yet. They're not going to pull the trigger just yet.
All right, permanent damage up top as well. The only remaining turret. Echo's last bastion, the bottom lane inhibitor.
Well, they're going to have to hold on to it. They should be able to, but look, Benthing's charging up here.
Benthing starts reversing. Oh, he misses the race, a sidestep. Feather Dash strike committed right away there by Echo, but TNC back off. Good call by them to not commit it, but Yawi, can he find the angle for the way of the dragon?
Oh.
Hesu protecting Escalera. Reset for both teams.
Loving the respect that TNC is presenting here. Echo, despite being down 8K, there's still a lot of damage from the Feather Air Strike.
Oh,
Yawi!
the kick! King Kong gets kicked back here by Yawi, the Blazing Duet. Where's it going to be? Look at Carl TZ stopping Innocent and Ben thinks. TNC are scrabbling. TNC are split, but the members of Echo are taking way too much damage. Hesu still onto Sanford. Echo are running for the hill.
Oh!
King Kong, Innocent. The Inasu duo does it for TNC, taking out Sanford.
Oh, 40, he died past the 20-minute mark. That's TikTok timers!
It's a long time. Echo, backs against the wall. What you gonna do with Biyahing Tagumpay? Nitros on full speed, going after you.
Man, King Kong just pressed load game. He's playing the same game from game 1.
Yeah.
He's deathless!
He's deathless, and across the board, Innocent as well, having an amazing game here. They've got the minions going to march in. Can they hold on?
Benthing seems to get away out of this, and Echo just go for a clear.
Woo.
This is going to be a 20-minute Lord for TNC.
Delta split here. About 10 seconds till the next Lord. Naisu, what's the item game looking like? There's more items on Yawi now, at least.
Yeah, he got the +1, right? But overall, at this point, 21 minutes in, yes, TNC still has that lead, but Echo, they're proving that they can contest, that they want to contest, actually. So still going to be pressed in the situation here, too. And with the item build that Sanford has on this Lapu Lapu, he also wants to be part of that front line. Either front line or peeling potential.
Escalera. Oh, Escalera! A little bit too sour for TNC's taste. As the mage of TNC is down, it's an advantage here for Echo right now. And just like that, Echo might have found the massive opening to make sure that this will not be a sweep victory for TNC. But TNC are still holding on. They have the right amount of bodies, the right amount of members to contest this Lord.
Dear Lord, that's a minute. Close to a minute, and Escalera is out.
Keep an eye on Innocent, making his way up top.
Oh.
Looks like TNC is going to try to stall this out the best they can. He hasn't exposed himself just yet.
Yeah, and at the same time, TNC is going to be looking if there are any members of Echo that are going to be going back to base. Lord brought down really low.
Lord.
This could be a red tree battle for the ages. A nightmare or a dream. TNC or Echo.
Oh.
It goes to Carl TZ. Bam! Bam! Says the GOAT as he takes the clutch 20-minute plus Lord.
As well, a fist bump to Yawi, the playmaker, who almost literally body blocked. I was so close.
I got you, Carl. I got you, Carl, says Yawi.
It was that extra item, man. You know, he had the immortality. He's much more confident. So that worked out for him. And so now, given that whole sequence, that situation, is TNC that has to clear this Lord. They have to deal with this. They're going to lose some of these turrets along the map. That's what Echo needed, right? They needed to be able to work with space. So they've managed to grab themselves that. Now, TNC's still in a position to punish, but hey, like we said, Escalera specifically has to be even more careful now
Exactly.
on this Kagura pick because we saw what can happen.
Joseph, it's that same point that you mentioned, the fact that they have a Kagura, which makes their defending prospects not as nice as Echoes, because they had a Farsa. Wave clear is great. High ground defense is amazing. For TNC, not so much.
Oh, Echo knocking on the doorstep on the garage of Biyahing Tagumpay.
Oh no!
The level 3 Lord at this point is a max one. Hesu trying to zone out the members of Echo right now, and that's going to be the Lord getting taken down by Hesu. Gets the avoided damage. Bethin trying to go in for the Tyrant's Revenge, but it is no dice. Hesu still bouncing with a split. Not going to find anyone. TNC hold on here, but Echo have found a massive turnaround.
For the 4th Lord, that was a good defense from TNC.
Still in it. I'm guessing.
Still in it.
It's the firepower advantage that led them to this.
Yeah, and now they still got to hold on a little bit longer. Ben Things hasn't been able to find the connection he's looking for just yet, but with the fact that the majority of TNC has these immortalities, they're going to be looking for fights, basically, right? Sanford now picking up one as well, so this is where those micro decisions, the macro play even comes into play for both of these teams as we find ourselves in a very stalemate situation, right? Both teams holding on to their inhibitor turrets. TNC has 2, Echo has 1. A Lord is less than a minute away.
Okay, so now, question time. When these two teams hit their item cap and this gold lead is close to no more, is it Echo's turn to be the aggressor? Because what does that look like? This is the first time this whole game I've ever seen Echo pushing out forward, being the aggressors.
Yeah, and I think TNC are shell-shocked with this. They got so used to being the ones in the lead, in control, setting the tempo, that now they're looking sloppy. It looks like they're getting caught out. They're getting surprised by Echo. Partly it's like, oh, what do we do, guys? We haven't been in this situation almost the entire game.
Exactly. It looks like Big Game Ben's running out of batteries. He hasn't been able to catch out any significant member of Echo.
Yeah, he hasn't been able to catch out any, and not only that, but the fact that even, for example, you know, Sanji has that Winter Transit. There's immortalities pretty much across the board for both teams, but Echo has those abilities, those items even, to drag out a fight a couple seconds longer, and that's where they shine.
Oh no, they fight King Kong! The kick and the combo, Escalada falls. King Kong is going to be able to get away from that, so it's only one member of TNC who falls, despite the massive find by Echo. But TNC do not want to give this up, but King Kong is zoned out. The members of Echo are stunned, but the Lord gets reset. Yaoi going in, Carl TG with a blood on King Kong. Dashing on out, Hesu finds Carl TG, but no follow-up. The snipe by Innocent onto Sanford, but Ben thinks falls.
All right, it's not as simple to call it a trade, but Sanford falling and Echo staying here means Echo has made their call. Even without Carl TG, now he's here. They know that they're the aggressors. They know that they're winning.
Yeah, this is troublesome.
20,000. King Kong's close enough. The zone out. Oh, they cancel the execution. The kick by Yaoi. Carl TZ gets the Lord. King Kong has to get out of here. Can he? He will not. Inasu and Escalera will try and defend TP's up from Carl TZ.
Old habits die hard. This is textbook Carl TZ.
I feel like there was a little, this is a Filipino word, giggle there.
Giggle.
That's right.
That's Giggle for sure.
That's giggle right there.
Giggle right there.
The Mo comes out, the recall. And so we're back to this, the pushing in with the Lord here. And like you mentioned, Leo, this is tough for TNC. They don't have that great of a defensive clear like Echo had. And that's what we were talking about even minutes ago. So now, here comes the play.
Hesu trying to block it right now, but he's going to get caught out.
Whoa!
That is the Escalera finding Sanji somehow from behind. But Yaoi ensures that they actually do not get the kill onto Hesu, as Escalera will get punished by Echo. He is buying a lot of time with the Trojan. Escalera really slippery there, but here is Echo. I set on forcing a game number 3. Innocent, Hesu, Ben thinks, what else can they do? Innocent doesn't have the ultimate to clear the minion waves, but it looks like Echo doesn't have enough firepower just yet. Hesu is still a difficult against Ben. Tyrant's revenge! He fights Sanford, and it's a godlike for Innocent. And now it's Echo running as Yaoi, Carl, and Benny are scrambling to safety. King Kong chasing after him. Ben thinks commits the flicker. Tyrant's revenge doesn't get it. This series, this game is not over yet.
Gentlemen, it's our 4v3. TNC can capitalize.
Sanford at 48, Sanji at 17. The Farsa will be back for Echo if TNC want to push it out. But they have minion waves to clear and loads of it.
If TNC wins this, that was a game-winning juggle of items from Escalera to buy a couple seconds.
That's
with
right.
The Winter Trojan,
I was
man.
watching it. The Winter Trojan, even the immortality came in mid-engage.
Yep.
He held on, man.
You know, this is at the point where the game comes down to it. It's a game of, you know, the game of inches. Well, it's the game of seconds here, right?
Yeah.
And that is what happens. And even now, everybody pretty much has the items they need. You're going to see juggling going on, especially if the immortalities are down or not. Even with this real-time win rate from Echo being 72%, TNC, they're still in it, man. I would actually just put this almost at a 50 and 50 because the way things are falling into place, TNC can come out on top of those fights. Big thing, though, is, a lot of immortalities are down for TNC here. And Escalera specifically, again, his placements in this next team fight with Echo is going to be crucial, especially if he can burst down Sanji again like he did previously in the defense. That is one of the biggest moments that he can pull off here.
Find the Farsa, can they?
Gotta watch Ben Things. A lot of this defense was only possible really because of how Ben Things held the fort.
Yep.
Yeah.
And how the rest of TNC just piggybacked off of that. Now that Echo has a slight lead, again, the aforementioned immortality advantage, and of course, the small lead, and I guess there has to be some psychology in place here, right?
Yeah.
The fact that they put him so close to death, yet they're still here, has to be a factor. Now it's TNC first on the scene.
Oh.
Echo just following through, playing
They
elsewhere.
find Sanford, revenge into the rage combo, and that's Sanford blasted, but blazing duet by Ben. He saves Sanford. Sanford hasn't fallen. TNC have expended so much. The ultimate of Escalera, Ben thinks and Innocent committed, as well as the flicker of the Kagura. Sanford gets away. Echo knew TNC was cooking something up top.
All right, so is that one immortality down? Still an advantage.
Yep,
Yeah.
still an advantage. No
Ooh.
Evo. Ooh. On
They-
the right target, but Benny Cutie being able to BMI just in time.
They got the immortality down, so minor advantage there. Plus, Sanji also had that flicker used. So it depends, right? Does TNC actually press this situation for the Lord take here? That's what King Kong and Carl Teasy are looking for. But notice Carl Teasy does have that immortality, so King Kong's got to be especially careful here if he gets locked down.
Winter truncheon by Hesu trying to
no.
save himself, but no!
Oh!
XP laner down. Bad news for TNC as Echo have found a massive pickoff to get an advantage in this Lord.
That's a minute and a quarter until Hesu can come back. This is where the immortality advantage is coming, folks. Again, it's a 4v5 now for the following minute or so, and I think, fellas, it's official. We have broken the longest match record in Season 11 currently.
Yeah,
And it was
I
also
believe so.
TNC.
Yep.
It was TNC RSG. Now it's TNC Echo.
TNC are going to try to split the map again. They let the mini wave clear it. Seal, that's going to be onto Noah, Innocent. I said Sanford backing Yaoi with a kick onto King Kong. That's just going to create space. Can King Kong get close? Enough to the Lord. Benefits
Thanks.
dodging it up.
Oh!
King Kong! He gets the Lord! Sanji falls in the hands of Escalera! King Kong falls himself! It's only 3 members of TNC!
Ben!
It could just be 2! Ben thinks there's no escape! Ben thinks punished! All eyes on Escalera and Innocent to hold on as TNC lose 3 and Echo only lose Sanji.
2v4, maybe asterisk 3v4. Lord coming in to buy some time for TNC.
But that's a minute.
It's dire straits. Joseph, this is tough.
That is more than TikTok timers here. It was over a minute for both of these. They bought some time. They should be able to manage to hold on long enough, but Echo, man, what a game. When I said about 15 minutes ago, by a couple minutes, I didn't expect it to go this long. But Echo has done it, and TNC is holding their own as well. But at this point in the game, the juggling of items, especially these immortalities, these winter truncheons, anything to buy a couple more seconds is going to be crucial. And we're just about 15 seconds for King Kong to be up. Ben Things will be up in 20. Sanji up shortly, and we're back to square one for ourselves for the next Lord here in about a minute and a half. Echo still with an 84% win rate here, though.
I'm buying the RTWR. This is legit. I understand and I accept this. That is the actual RTWR because TNC, their victory by taking that late game Lord really came off of a clutch play, but that's about it. They were grasping at straws.
This Alice is a massive problem for TNC because they have to expend so much to take other members of Echo down, trying to take down Benny Cutie before he gets to BMI, either Sanford or Yaoi, trying to find Sanji, that they don't have enough firepower left for Carl Teasy, who's just going on everyone all over TNC. So much lifesteal.
Told y'all it wasn't me. But that's short to say. That's short to say. Carl Teasy in this game is a house.
Yeah.
At 34 minutes, he is a house.
Is that the sound effect of Blood Ode?
Just slurping.
Oh, all right. Slurping up.
Told y'all.
It's Blood Ode and some other things too. So
Yeah.
TNC, how can they even get close enough to this Lord? Because now, with a positioning that Echo has on the map, they have a potential to split push it too. And again, the factor that we mentioned earlier, the TNC need to expend so much to just try and take down at least 1 or 2 members of Echo. Because there's always one more hero on the side of Echo that will just run all over TNC.
Okay, I'm wondering one more thing, right? Since Lord is coming up in about 15 seconds, what's the immortality counter, right? Like, how come I'm not seeing any wings on any members of TNC? It's gotta have to come off of cooldown at some point.
I think what you're going to see is them juggle it in when they get prepped for this Lord.
When it's time.
Yeah, when it's time. Because, you know, right now I think it was only Hesu that had the wings, had the immortality wings here. So the rest of Echo pretty much has them for the most part, right? Aside from Benny Cutie, because he has the Wind of Nature and he can just BMI out of there. Now, what you've seen also TNC try to do is the backdoor positioning. They haven't been able to find it, though.
Yep.
And you can see how much actually they're struggling to get in position here to contest this Lord and not let it just be taken by Echo.
Oh, look at that. Already 50% is the Lord. King Kong can barely get close. All he sees are members of Echo and leaves from the shrubs. Echo, perfect positioning right now to try and stop them. Escalera gets found out by Yawi. Hesu trying to get there. Sancho already
Escalera.
the turnaround here. Yawi with the kick on to Escalera, but Innocent's going to be there. King Kong and Hesu and Bethany close enough to contest this Lord. Lord still 30,000 in health. Yawi brought really low, but Yawi's going to be able to get on out of there. The Lord gets reset. TNC and Echo. There are 2 things you don't underestimate. The heart of a champion and the heart of a team that just really wants to make it to the playoffs. Holding on for dear life are these 2.
Now we see the wings. So TNC understands the gravity of the situation this time around. And Echo, wow, look at this making quick work.
Part 2 again of can King Kong and TNC contest
King Kong.
this Lord. Ben thinks again going in. He's going to look for Carl TZ. He finds Carl TZ. Tyrant's Rage. The Lord will go of TNC. King Kong does it again. Carl TZ falls, but can the members of TNC Benny eats damage from TNC, but he gets away. 5v4 for 3 points for the chance to make it to the playoffs. TNC are still fighting and giving one of the most memorable fights we've seen all season long.
To the good people watching at home, if you've lost track, that's Lord number 7. Lord number 7 in this 36-minute game.
What an epic of a series in a game, too.
They find King Kong up top. Yawi with the kick, and that's going to be the feather dash strike. But King Kong, what in the hell? He still gets away. King Kong just King thinks. And here comes Ben thinks, but he does not find Sanji. Here comes the Lord. TNC, they were told they don't have it.
That's
that
a beefy
they have
Lord.
run out of gas. Sanford brought really low. They find Sanji. Yawi trying to buy time. Blazing to win by Benny. Yawi brought really low, but it still has the immortality. Hesu finds Sanford. Sanford holding on.
The Lord.
And the Lord still whacking at the base.
TNC.
The base. They have done it. Biyaheng Tagumpay. Victorious against the M4 World Champs. 3 points. And the playoffs dream is still alive.
Big Game Ben strikes again.